On to censorship. We'll win this one too. So there are two congresspeople from California, which is really not even a state in the union anymore. It's kind of a state of mind. All right, so Anna Eshoo and Jerry McInerney. I'll tell you about them in a minute. So they're two congresspeople, and they have introduced, or they want to, censor Fox News, Newsmax, One America. They want to censor them by having the companies that carry them drop them all. Okay, here's what the congressman put on paper, and I'm going to quote them. Nearly half of Americans get their news primarily from TV. However, not all TV news sources are the same. Some purported news outlets have long been misinformation, rumor mills, and conspiracy theory hotbeds that produce content that leads to real harm. Misinformation on TV has led to our current polluted information environment that radicalizes individuals to commit seditious acts and rejects public health best practices, among other issues in our public discourse. Experts have noted that the right-wing media ecosystem is more susceptible to disinformation, lies, and half-truths, unquote. Experts have noted. Who might that be? Who are those experts? Okay, so this damns all the right-wing television outlets, but doesn't mention that for 3 years, the left-wing outlets, NBC News, CNN, CBS, and ABC, carried on a daily basis false and fallacious reporting and analysis on Russian collusion. 3 years, every day. Somehow that escaped Congresswoman Eshoo and Congressman McInerney. They didn't quite get that. Didn't quite see it. Even when the Mueller report was released, embarrassing all of the anti-Trump media, all of the liberal media. But they didn't care. They didn't pause a beat. Now, I don't justify bad behavior by pointing to other bad behavior. That's one of the cardinal rules in the no-spin zone. We do not do that. And yes, there was fallacious analysis and reporting on the right-wing networks. Yes, there was. A lot of the stuff that was put out was false about the election and about other things. A lot of it, not a little of it, a lot of it. You never heard it here. Not one time. Not one time. Did it ever occur to you, because I know you guys are paying attention to the news, not just me, did it ever occur that I didn't do it once? That I didn't buy into any specific conspiracy one time in the election? Why didn't I do that? Because there was no information. There was stuff put out there all over the place, but it wasn't confirmed by anyone. And we reported this accurately, and you know it. We were not wrong one time in the whole election cycle, not once. All right, I'll stack that record up against anybody. We reported it down the line fair. So anyway, back to these nuts, Eshoo and McInerney. They've written a letter to AT&T, Verizon, Roku, Amazon, Apple, Comcast, Charter, Dish, Cox, Alphabet, and Hulu, saying you got to take off the right-wing conservative networks. Okay, this is totalitarianism. This is what they do in China. This is what they do in Cuba. Okay, now these two, McInerney, he's Stockton, California. Okay, very liberal place. 69 years old. The guy is in the outer limits. He's in the ozone. And Eshoo, this is Santa Clara, San Mateo, Santa Cruz. She's 78 years old. And again, there's no talking to these people. Now tomorrow, they're going to testify in front of a House committee. That's going to be a lead story. You got Bernie Goldberg coming up on them tomorrow. So we'll advance this story. All right? It's not going to happen, by the way. They're not going to take the right-wing networks off. That would be unconstitutional for them to do it. And the FCC chairman laced them. All right, and he's still there. Biden didn't get rid of him. Put that quote on a screen. He laced them. All right, today, two senior Democrats on the House Energy and Commerce Committee selectively targeted a handful of news media outlets for their coverage of political events. By writing letters to the cable providers and other regional entities that carry these news media outlets, the Democrats are sending a message that is as clear as it is troubling. These regulated entities will pay a price if the targeted newsrooms do not conform to Democrats' preferred political narratives. Good for this guy, Brendan Cox. Good for him. That's exactly what it is. You better toe the line. We're going to hurt you. I mean, that's the whole game.